Fabio here, and in this video let's explore how ancient wisdom meets modern business, how Stoicism can transform the very way you lead and live. I speak directly to the entrepreneurs, executives, and professionals who often find themselves caught in the relentless pursuit of success, and yet feel the weight of stress, uncertainty, and isolation. You who have experienced the sleepless nights over tough decisions, and you who have felt the sting of burnout despite all your achievements. Today we are going to unpack those struggles with thoughtful reflections, practical stories, and proven Stoic principles. So let's begin this conversation not as a lecture, but as a shared experience, a deep personal narrative filled with lessons from the past and actionable insights for your future. Before we dive into personal stories, let me share a bit about Stoicism. Ancient Stoics like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius taught that while we cannot control every event, we can control our reactions. This is the cornerstone of resilience. A lesson I learned not from books, but through real-life trials. I recall early in my career, I was faced with a crisis that threatened to destroy everything I'd built. A major business collapse, which forced me to look inward. And in that quiet moment, I remembered the line from Marcus Aurelius in the Meditations, where he says, "The impediment to action advances action." It was a turning point for me, a realization that every setback carried the seed of growth. This philosophy is not just theoretical, it's lived experience. Many of you, like me, have wrestled with moments when everything seemed to crumble. In the boardroom when tough decisions were made, or in solitude, when the quiet pressure of expectations was almost unbearable. And these are the moments where Stoicism whispers, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you can control. Your thoughts, your actions, your inner life. That's why I encourage you to think of your own challenges not as failures, but as the raw material for wisdom. In business, as in life, obstacles are opportunities. And the very act of overcoming these obstacles can transform not only your company, but your very self. So let me share a story that has deeply shaped my journey. A few years back, I worked with a client, an executive of a high-stakes tech company. And he was facing the perfect storm, a market downturn, internal strife, and the relentless pressure of expectations. I'll call him Michael. Michael contacted me visibly worn down by sleepless nights and anxious decisions. He was caught between two worlds: the aggressive pace of modern business and the timeless call to live meaningfully, a meaningful life. And I remember I listened as he spoke about his mounting frustration, his fear of failure, and the isolation he felt as he struggled to live up to everyone's expectations, including his own. We talked long into the evening. I introduced him to the Stoic idea of Amor, Fati, the love of faith. I explained how embracing every moment, every challenge was not an act of resignation, but an affirmation of life. Over time, Michael learned to see his obstacles as opportunities to build inner strength. He reoriented his focus from external validation to internal virtue. And slowly, the overwhelming weight of his challenges lifted. Today, Michael leads his company with a calm clarity, a true testament to the power of Stoic principles in the face of business adversity, which is always there, of course. This is not an isolated case. Throughout my years of coaching, I've witnessed how embracing Stoicism can transform not only companies, but entire lives. I remember another client. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah, a brilliant entrepreneur whose startup was on the brink of collapse. In that case, by learning to anchor herself in the present moment and focus on what she could control, she discovered a resilience that eventually turned her business around and rekindled her passion for innovation in that case. I share these stories with you because they are not just tales of personal success. They are actually blueprints for transforming pain into power. And I want you to see that no matter the scale of your challenge, the principles of Stoicism are within your reach. They are as practical as they are profound. Now, let's speak candidly about the challenges you face. Those challenges that keep you up at night. Overwhelming pressure, isolation at the top, burnout and exhaustion, internal conflict, fear of vulnerability. And I understand those challenges because I've been there and I've seen brilliant minds buckle under the weight of expectation. I watched the spark of innovation dim under the constant barrage of stress and self-doubt. And I've seen that the antidote to these challenges is not found in quick fixes, but in a disciplined, stoic approach to life. Imagine for a moment the relief that comes from knowing that every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. Imagine the clarity that emerges when you shift your focus from external pressures to inner virtues. This is the promise of Stoicism. A return to what is within your control. A rediscovery. A rediscovery of what truly matters. So now let's get into some practical techniques. These are not abstract theories, but actionable steps that I and many of my clients have implemented with transformative results. The first one is morning reflection. Begin each day with a moment of quiet reflection. Ask yourself, what can I control today? What challenges might arise? And how can I meet them with equanimity? This practice sets a deliberate tone for your day. Then journaling. Keep a daily journal where you note your successes, challenges, and reflections. You'll notice that over time, this becomes a mirror of your inner growth. Write about moments of struggle and triumphs. I've seen leaders chart their journey from despair to clarity simply by documenting their thoughts. Then practice mindful breathing. In moments of stress, pause and focus on your breath. Count each inhalation and exhalation. And this simple act anchors you in the present moment, helping to dissolve anxiety and sharpen your focus. Also, reframing challenges. When confronted with obstacles, consciously reframe them. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Gratitude practice. I know this is hard, but even on the toughest days, find something to be grateful for. Gratitude is not just a fleeting feeling. It's a practice that builds resilience and positivity over time. I recall a session with a high-powered executive, Jonathan, who used these very techniques. And initially, Jonathan was skeptical. He was used to the fast-paced world of mergers and acquisitions where there was little time for introspection. But after committing to a daily routine of journaling and mindful breathing, he began to notice a subtle but profound shift. His decision-making became more measured. His stress levels dropped. And his relationship with colleagues deepened. And Jonathan's transformation wasn't instantaneous. It was the slow, steady work of embracing a new mindset. What I want you to understand is that these practices are not merely habits. They are the building blocks of a resilient, grounded life. They invite you to return to what is fundamental, the control over your own thoughts, actions, and ultimately, your destiny. Now, if you want to hear more from those who have walked this path before you, allow me to introduce a few more client examples that underscore the power of Stoicism in real-world business settings. First, there was Elena, a brilliant entrepreneur whose startup was grappling with severe cash flow issues and a demoralized team. Elena felt the sting of self-doubt and the crushing weight of responsibility. In our sessions with Elena, we delved deep into the concept of Memento Mori. Remember that you must die, not as a morbid reminder, but as a core to cherish each moment and to act with urgency on what truly matters. And Elena began to prioritize quality over quantity, cutting out distractions and focusing on building a sustainable, values-driven company culture. And for Elena, her business not only stabilized, but eventually flourished, proving that Stoic principles can be a strategic asset in crisis management. What else? Another story. David, a seasoned executive, known for his analytical mind and meticulous planning. Yet, beneath his polished exterior, David was wrestling with an inner turmoil, fear of inadequacy, and the constant pressure to outperform his competitors. Through my Stoic coaching, David discovered that his worth was not defined solely by metrics and outcomes, but by his ability to lead with integrity and authenticity. And by adopting a Stoic mindset, he learned to detach his self-worth from external success. And this allowed him to become a more empathetic leader, inspiring his team to innovate and collaborate more effectively. David's journey is a testament to the idea that true leadership is built on character, not just competence. We will work on that. I mean, if you can work with me or whatever, but I work a lot on that. I share these stories not as isolated incidents, but as reflections of a broader truth. The path of Stoicism offers a roadmap for overcoming adversity, for transforming pain into progress, and for ultimately reclaiming your inner peace, even in the midst of business storms. So, now that we have explored personal stories and practical techniques, let's talk about integration. How do you put these Stoic practices into the fabric of your daily business life? Well, in board meetings and high-stakes negotiations, you can pause and ground yourself. When every second feels critical, taking a moment to reflect can lead to decisions that are both more strategic and more ethical. Encourage your team to adopt a mindset of collective growth. Create an environment where challenges are discussed openly and failures are seen as learning opportunities. When your team understands that setbacks are part of the journey, then innovation thrives. Then balance ambition. Ambition can be a double-edged sword. While it drives you forward, it can also lead to burnout if left unchecked. Practice balancing your drive for success with self-care routines. Remember, a well-rested, clear mind is your most valuable asset. Cultivate empathy. As a leader, your ability to empathize is crucial. Stoicism teaches us to view every interaction as an opportunity for mutual growth. When you lead with empathy, you not only elevate your own performance, but also create a nurturing environment for those around you. As we near the end of our reflection today, I want to leave you with a final thought, a subtle invitation to take this exploration further. If you're feeling the weight of these challenges, if you are searching for a way to navigate the stormy seas of modern business with calm clarity, I invite you to consider working with me. My coaching isn't about offering quick fixes. It's about a transformational process rooted in time-tested wisdom and real-world experience. You, at the helm of your company, steering through crisis with the calm assurance of a seasoned captain. Imagine making decisions that resonate with your true values, building a legacy, not only a financial success, but a legacy of integrity and impact. This is the promise of embracing the Stoic mindset. And if you're ready to take the next step, if you're ready to unlock your inner strength and transform your professional life, as well as your personal life, feel free to reach out. Let's have a confidential conversation about how we can tailor these Stoic principles to meet your unique challenges and aspirations. It's your journey toward a more centered, resilient, and successful life. And that journey begins with a single step. So, I encourage you to get in touch with me if you're ready for that. If you're not ready, absolutely no problem, no obligation. This is just an open invitation to explore how the wisdom of Stoicism can become a powerful force in your personal and professional growth. But if you're not ready for that, just connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll help you for free. I'll help you stay on track with my content, my videos. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. And this is all free advice that I can give you. There's a limitation, of course. It's completely different than working with a tailored approach, which would be personalized just for you, on you. But, as I said, if you're not ready yet, we can keep in touch and connect with me on LinkedIn. And I will provide for sure more contact because this is a mission for me. I strongly believe in this mission to bring the Stoic wisdom. I believe in the eternal concept. Rome, we call Rome the eternal city. And the message from Marcus Aurelius is traveling in space and time. And I'm here to bring his wisdom to you. Until the next video, live long and prosper.
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 So, live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Whatever.
Live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper.
Captain, live long and prosper.
Long and prosper.
Long and prosper, Max.
Hey, live long and prosper, mother.
You were right, Will.
Live long and prosper, Jack.
My plan is to live long and prosper, you know what I mean? To make little baby deeks, little ninja assassins with fantastic hair.
Live long and prosper.
Well, merci beaucoup. Live long and prosper.
To the Potter B&B, may it live long and prosper.
Indeed. Yeah.
May all your future gazebos live long and prosper.
Please leave.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, just go.
I'm going. Live long and prosper, Sheldon.
I was so intrigued with that gesture, and I suggested that we do that as Vulcans. Within days after that episode was on the air, I started getting that gesture back on the streets.